What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? And I know why you are here. That's right, we're all here for one reason and one reason alone. This is the reason we were born. We are here today to dissect, to assess, to analyze and taste the forbidden fruit. And when I say forbidden fruit, I mean a release from Laphroaig, which everyone waits for. And that's right, I have in my hands, well, you've read the title, you know what I'm talking about. I am talking about the Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 14. Those of you unlucky to have seen my live video the other night where I was hanging out with my whiskey club and we were appropriately extremely inebriated, and then someone had the bright idea, said, hey, let's go live and let's share our tasting notes on the new Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 14, and for some reason I thought that would be a great idea. As it turns out, it was a good idea. Everybody had fun. We all had our 2 cents and it was all there for you to see. And that way you got a glimpse into my life, into the people that I hang out with, which I thought was very cool. However, what we did not do was justice. Justice to that dram, because we were all absolutely smashed by the time we got to the Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength. We had like maybe 12, 13 drams before that when somebody said, hey, let's open it up and let's... So, this is the reason I'm here today. I want to do a more calculated, more objective, more analytical tasting of this wonderful, wonderful whiskey, the Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 10. Batch 10? Batch 14. Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 14. Come on. Okay, so what I also have here, what you don't know, is I have the 13. Yeah. Now here's the deal, right? Normally these releases would come once a year. However, the 13 decided to make its way out in January of this year, and then suddenly 6 months later, in June, we have the batch 14. What the hell is going on? Is Laphroaig going, man, we're not selling enough whiskeys. Let's just keep releasing the 10-year-old Cask Strength every 6 months and we'll just double our sales. And that's probably what happened. Well, it is what it is. So, what I'd like to do first is I'm going to put a link up right here. There you go. That is my review of the Laphroaig Batch 13. Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 13. So when I say Laphroaig 13, you know what I mean. Go check that out. You'll know how much I like that whiskey. And then we will come back here and then you can hear me talk about the 14-year-old. How does that sound? All right, let's do it. There you go. So here's the deal. I'm always confused, and I know it keeps getting answered, but not everyone's 100% sure about color. Last I heard that Cask Strength whiskeys were not to be colored by Laphroaig. I don't know how far that's true for this. I mean, if it's colored, it is. If it's not, then good for you. I don't think they're chill filtered though. Oh man, why do I do this every time? Okay, whatever it is. I honestly don't know whether this is colored or chill filtered. I don't think it's chill filtered. I have a feeling it might be colored. If I'm wrong either way, just please let me know. And in future, I promise to do my research. But hey, I've got so much more on my hands and like tasting whiskeys. Woohoo! So, for those of you who watched the 13 and came back, okay, fine. You know what? Let's do this. There you go. I'm pouring from the 13. Pouring from the 13. There you go. Now, if you've watched my last video on the Laphroaig 13, batch 13, you'll know that I really, really liked it. In fact, I had some very, very, flattering things to say for this whiskey, and they were all heartfelt, and I meant them completely. And this is one of the, last pillars of quality that Laphroaig is churning out, that we rely on and keep going back year after year. So my tasting notes for the 13 were quite salty, briny, smokewood, char, barbecue, cold cuts, iodine, red cherries, and licorice. And they're all here, and on the palate, dark chocolate, oak smoke, iodine, and again, that red and black licorice. Yep, I agree with my tasting notes, so I'm happy with that. Now, the 14. This one is interesting. I've already done a little session just before starting this video, and I have to tell you, what you don't know. So the 13, 57.9% ABV on the alcohol, whereas the 14, oh my God, 58.6. So they're amping it up. However, there is a however. This is a good solid nose. Smoky bacon strips, charred meat, quite savory, very dry, dusty warehouse. Dry spices as well, but savory spices. And this is my point of differentiation from the 14 versus the 13, and that the 14 is very, very, very savory. So I don't get as much of the red fruits as I would like to get, that you get on the 13, like the cherries and the licorice. The iodine, not as strong as the 13. The 14 lacking in iodine for me as well. And the only reason I'm making these, sort of nitpicking on these flavor profiles is because I'm a Laphroaig fan, and these are the flavors that I expect. So when they're missing, alarm bells, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So right now in the batch 14, it's, I'm getting a lot of good, but I'm missing two components that are signature Laphroaig, and that's the iodine and the red licorice. And I'm missing that on the nose. Does that make it a bad nose? No, it just makes it a different nose. Is that a good or bad thing? I don't know. It's just a thing. So as of now, the nose for me, not as balanced, in my opinion, as the 13, because the 13 has an added element of red fruits and licorice and iodine, which I associate with the distillery. That is not here in the 14. I don't know if it's been done out of design or it is, just the way it is. Does this make this a bad nose? No, it does not make it a bad nose. However, I think it just lacks a smidge of balance between the sweet and savory that I prefer in most of my whiskeys, and this is relying very heavily on the savory side, and I'm not getting any of that first fill bourbon sweetness that you would get in a typical Laphroaig. And like I said, that iodine is missing. So interesting, very interesting. Well, all there's left for me to do is boom, chin chin. So, I love doing this. So, definitely sweeter on the palate, slightly sweeter, not as sweet as I would have expected it to be. A hint of red fruits. Dry red fruits. Is there such a thing? I don't know. If there is, I don't know. So dry red fruits. Dry spices, oak, leather, tobacco, lots of white and black pepper, and a massive, massive, massive finish. Wow. So, is this a good dram or not? Yes. Yes, this is a good dram. Ooh, more charry. I would have thought subsequent sips would have made it more sweeter, but no, they make it more charred, more charry. That grilled barbecue, burnt bacon that's really coming through strongly. And that ashiness, ooh, that's a lot more ashiness than I would expect from a Laphroaig. This is a more of an Ardbeg ash, if you know what I mean. But there's a lot of ashiness and soot coming through here. So, wow, this is interesting. Do I like it? I think the short answer is yes. Do I like it as much as the 13? And I think the short answer is no. Are they both equally good drams? Yeah, I want to say yes. I think the 13th is just a better balanced whiskey in my opinion, and I think it has more of the signature Laphroaig flavors, especially that iodine and that red fruit licorice, which everybody loves and looks. This is the 13, by the way. Oh yeah, definitely sweeter. The fruity component is there. The red fruit component is there. I can taste the licorice, both red and black. And more importantly, I can really sink my teeth into that iodine. 14. What I'm not getting in this are those two very significant flavor profiles that you've come to associate with Laphroaig. Just barely any iodine and almost no red fruit / licorice. Does that make it a bad dram? No, it doesn't make this a bad dram. It just makes it a very different dram. And I think on its own, just from merit alone, I think this is a very fine whiskey. It's a lovely dram. I think it misses out the balance on sweetness and savory, in my opinion. And I think if we kind of tackle that, this becomes an almost perfect, near perfect dram, but it's not. I know you're gonna say, well, add some water to it, let it open up, let the flavors come out, and yeah, maybe I will do that. I don't know if if that makes this whiskey any better or worse, but as of now, I tasted the 13 without any water, and I judged it on its merit, and I'm gonna do exactly the same for the 14 and not put any water in it. Maybe I'll do it later, and I'll report back to you. But in the meantime, I just want to say that this is a decent dram, a good whiskey. It's I think it could have been better balanced with the sweetness, but it's not as good as the 14, and that is and not by a lot. It's not like the 13 was just absolutely stunning and this 14 is just crap. No. They're both very good whiskeys. It just so happens that the 13 has those signature Laphroaig flavors that I look for and I'm used to, and I encourage and I welcome in a Laphroaig when I drink it, which somehow are missing in this 14. Yeah, subsequent sips, more charred, and I would have expected to be sweeter, but that's not the case. So, wow, there you have it. The new Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 14. Good dram, not as good as the 13 in my opinion. Is it worth your money? Yes, I think it's still worth your money to go out and buy this. However, if you see the 13 and 14, sitting side by side and you only have money for one, then I would say pick the 13. But if you have money for both, hey, isn't that a great world that we live in? So, damn, there you have it. The day we were waiting for. It's here and it's happened. We tasted the Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 14. We compared it to the 13, and I think the better whiskey won, honestly. And this is what I love about the Cask Strength series, man. They're always above average. Some are better than the others. I understand that. I think earlier batches were a lot better than later batches for whatever reason, and that's fine. But at least they're above average, and that means a lot. And I think at the rate and the volume that Laphroaig produces their whiskey at, to maintain this level of consistency and quality is a testament to what they do. So hats off to everyone at Laphroaig. Well done. Another successful Cask Strength 10-year-old that you guys have released, albeit very close to each other. I don't know the reason for that. Well, yeah, even the dogs don't like it. But overall, I think a good dram, a decent dram. I wish it was slightly more sweeter and fruitier to balance it out, but it's not. That's okay. I can live with that. They've, Laphroaig's given me a lot of good Cask Strength whiskeys, and if one doesn't meet if it doesn't hit all the marks and I don't get 100% on it, that's fine. I'm happy to live with that. So there you go. So those are my very, 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 very objective feelings towards the Laphroaig 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch 14. Good dram. I just, the takeaway I want you guys to have from this video is that this is a decent dram. This is a good dram. It's worth buying as well. If you're building a collection, if you have all the Cask Strength series, and it is what it is. But if you're going to compare it to the 13, then I think you'll prefer the 13 over the 14 if you do a side-by-side comparison. But on its own, I think it holds its own, and it is a fine whiskey. Is it near perfect? No. Is this absolutely spectacular? No. Is it above average? Yes. And I think that's a good thing. Anything above average is good. So I will put my weight behind this dram and give it a thumbs up. Wow. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed only because I set my expectations up really, really high, and that's something I have to learn not to do for myself. And I get easily disappointed when it's Laphroaig or Ardbeg or one of the good ones that I love. Again, like I'm saying, this is not a bad whiskey. This is actually a good whiskey, and it's just not as good as the 13. And I thought it was going to be better than the 13. And I foolishly and childishly think that every subsequent batch should be better than the last one, but that's not the case. You have some batches that are not as good as the others, and it is certainly the case with this one. The 14 not as good as the 13, but still a mighty fine dram in its own right. Right? Okay, cool. We got through this. We got through this together. So there you go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, go on, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. I got way more videos coming out, and lots of lists, so hopefully we have something there. And here's the other thing, the stash. Don't forget the stash. The stash is still here. Haha. And here's the deal, I'm going to keep the stash till we get 2,000 subscribers. That's 2,000 subscribers, at which point I will get rid of the stash. How about that? How's that for a little challenge? So let's get to 2,000 subscribers and I will shave off the stash. How does that sound? So let me know what you guys think. Should I keep the stash or shave it off? I don't know. Well, there you have it. I'm glad. This was a fun video, even though I'm slightly disappointed, and that's okay. Like I said, it is what it is, and you gotta roll with the punches. But I'm making it sound more dramatic than it is. This is a fine whiskey, and I shouldn't be disappointed, but maybe I am just a little bit. But it's okay. So thank you. I'm rambling now. I know. Sorry. This is ridiculous. So thank you for joining me for this whiskey review. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time. Peace.